Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 21 to the end. Etam bhukva svargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्या चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्तेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितुव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयम् यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवम् मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्तं भवति धर्मात्मा शाश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य तेभिः पापयोनयः प्रियो वैश्याः तथा शूद्राः तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मना मम भक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामैवैष्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति. From verse 29 to the end, Krishna is presenting those who are having certain disadvantages. The disadvantaged seekers. He is giving a list of those people. And even they can attain the spiritual evolution. That is the idea here. The central theme is that. And in that he is giving very many lists. And remember, Krishna is not giving a public lecture. Krishna is speaking to his friend. You and me don't know anything else. Therefore, we overhear their conversation and then try to make use of it. Okay? Because we expect Krishna to be giving a political address. Diplomatically, he should have mentioned certain things, certain unparliamentary words he is using. These words should not be used. Now, in today's context, we have our own words and we change it. And after about another 50 years down the line, that generation will change to some other word. Like a few years back, we used to refer lady as is a housewife. Today, if you say housewife, it's not correct. And today you have to call a group of people as differently abled. And few years back, people have written books actually, jokes on a particular community. Today, if you make a joke, you can be put behind bars. You can be prosecuted. Why, sir? Because it is illegal today. You cannot do that today. Even making, not writing a book or anything. Stating it is wrong today. And after about few generations back, later things will change. Now, these things will go on changing, remember. But when we are discussing the text, you should remember the context. The context, if you are going to be taking Krishna somehow wanting to motivate Arjuna only to fight the battle, then you are very, very narrow in your understanding. Because next question we will ask is, why Krishna has to persuade Arjuna to fight? Even if Arjuna decides that I am not going to fight the battle and he walks out, it is not going to be a big problem for Krishna to say, okay, let us change the role, reverse the role. You be my charioteer, I will take up arms and fight. And Krishna is not like Rama, says, once I have given a word means that's it. He is not like that. He says, once a situation changes, I will change. Right? He is capable of that. Or even if Arjuna says, no, I will not even be, part of, wanting to be a charioteer also. Krishna has his friend standing there, just behind. Krishna's personal charioteer was always around the entire Mahabharata war. If you see, that's what Vyasa records. He is always behind. Empty chariot. Like convoys they go, like that. Krishna is, sitting as a charioteer for Arjuna, and behind that chariot, Krishna's personal chariot will be coming with his charioteer. If Arjuna says, I am not going to become part of it, I wanted to follow your brother, I will become like Balrama and walk out. Krishna would have said, okay, you go, I will fight. Even if Yudhishthira were to take a stand that I am not going to fight the battle, if Krishna's intention is only to fight the battle, he could have said, all Pandavas go home, go back to forest, I don't have an issue. But I am not going to allow Duryodhana to continue. I will spearhead this war. Those who want to come with me, come with me. Those who want to leave can leave. He can make that announcement. If that is the only intention of Krishna was, what is the necessity for him to go into all these details? Akshara Brahma Yoga, Gurantraya Vibhaga Yoga and all that. For what he has to discuss all that? So, to think that, Krishna is, entire Bhagavad Gita's address is only to somehow persuade Arjuna to fight the battle, is not standing anything. That shows the poverty of thinking. That's about it. You are not able to understand what. Now, even if these fellows were to win the battle, there is no connection between Krishna and Pandavas. That if you win this, Hastinapur becomes mine. Okay, you guys take Hastinapur, I will take Indraprastha. There is no contract like that. Like these days, this alliance comes, the parties. They have the alliance and say that, if you take this portfolios, that portfolios for me. There's no such thing. Even if the Pandavas win or the Pandavas lose, Krishna has nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Because his entire army is standing on the other side. To think like that is very, very, very narrow. Then what is the agenda here? That is where these masters come and explain to us that it is not that Krishna is interested only in that. Krishna is using this as an excellent opportunity to show Arjuna something far, far beyond. That's about it. And I don't want to get into this discussion of whether actually Bhagavad Gita address was given by Krishna when they were standing in the forest. It is Vyasa who decided to place it here. Then I will say Vyasa is far more intelligent than Krishna. Look at the scene in which he is inserting it. See, you can't be. We have no business to alter the things. We have to take the things as it is given to us. You can alter the data and start the analysis. The thinking should take in the data given to you and then proceed. As far as we are concerned, data given to us is this has happened here. So here he is not doing it. Then why he is doing it? Always you should keep that in the backdrop. If you don't keep that in the backdrop and try to interpret, try to understand, there's a good chance of you missing the whole point. See, and then we come to this specific context. So one is you should have a general idea of what is the agenda of Krishna, of a guide. A patient will go to the doctor referring what? Patient will say only one thing, sir, I am having a headache. Correct? All that you have to do is what? Give me some medicine so that my headache should go. This is what a patient will say. The doctor is the one who says, no. The treatment will take 3.5 years. Why? Because you are having a tumor. The patient is not going to say, doctor, please tell me how to remove the tumor. No patient will go to him like that. The patient will go to the doctor referring only what? I have a headache. That's all he will say. I have temperature. That is all you will say. The doctor says what? Or the temperatures and all these things to get reduced, you have to go there. When you do that investigation, he unearths something else. As far as the patient is concerned, he doesn't know all those things. That is the difference between a doctor and a patient. Similarly, Between the samsari and a guru, the difference is that samsari will come only with his pains, his immediate problem. He will come stating, give me a solution for my problem today. Today I have this problem, give me a solution for that. Forget about all these things. This is what he will say. The doctor is not going to say that. No? Doctor will not say, take Dolo 650 and all this problem will get over. Because he knows there is a tumor there. Now he will say what? Immediately get yourself admitted. You have to be admitted. You have to be given, immediately, as soon as admission means they will put one IV. Glucose, this, that, all those things. And then go this, make this payment. Then you make this arrangement. Which package to be taken. This, that. So many discussions will start. You will say what? I have not asked for all those things. But that is a difference. The angle from which the guru sees is totally different from angle from which the student will be standing. The person who goes through the problem will refer only the problem, which is only a symptom. So whatever Arjuna was speaking as his problem is just a symptom. Krishna knows what is a deep-rooted issue. Whether the patient came out successful or not, we have no idea. That's what the doctors say, isn't it? Surgery is successful, sir, but the patient died. What is the meaning of that? Now, possible, no. It's not a mistake of the surgeon. It's like when they give you anesthesia, you go unconscious. How you will come out? Go unconscious. That is possible by the anesthetist. But what is going to make you to come back? That's what the doctors say. See, the body has to respond. No. We have to wait and see. That is why they say we need to give 18 hours, 24 hours. You have to wait for that next 24 hours, sir. Only then we can conclusively say something. Why? Many times the doctors come out and give things. He is responding well. Responding well means sending home. No, you can't. Oh, he has started responding well. Okay, ask him to come home. Let's go for a party. That is not possible for him. That is what Arjuna's condition is. He is responding. That's about it. That doesn't mean the medication is over. The treatment is over. So, in the entire course, they will give many things. Sometimes the doctors even give sedatives, isn't it? Certain drugs they give. Hey, go unconscious. But you can't take that out and say, how can a doctor make a person go unconscious? Isn't it wrong? Isn't it drug abuse? Under this specific guidance, even poison will be treated as medicine only, provided if it is administered by the qualified. Now you cannot take that out and say, this is what most of us do now. You see, blood pressure. You have blood pressure. Which tablet you are taking? I am taking this tablet. Get me one also. Across the counter, we buy medicines. And this medical fraternity, they say it's very dangerous. No, you cannot do that. Antibiotics, very simple one. Antibiotics, you can't buy across the counter and start taking. Needs to be administered by the doctor. If it is not administered, the medicine can become poison. If administered properly, poison can become medicine. Depends on who's administering. Immediately don't jump and say, so if he does correct, I am doing wrong, is it? Many times we have this argument. Like say, siblings always have the fight, rivalries. If he is doing correct, if I say the same thing wrong, is it? Same thing I am saying. If he says you listen to, same thing I am telling you are not listening to. You are so discriminative. It's not, you can't just make such statements. It will not work. A qualified person staying that under that conditions, in that context, it is correct. You can't take that out, isolate that and say, since that was administered to me then, right through my life I am going to do that. It will not be applicable. This is the blunder everybody is doing in every aspect of life. See, I don't want to give, much examples on this. So you have to understand. Look around. You will see. In a context, it is half the time or 99.9% of the time the discussion jumps into out of context. And we consider those people to be intellectuals. That is the tragedy of life. Or, not, illiterates we say. Highly educated, highly qualified, very intelligent people. That's a tragedy of life. There is a curse of humanity. See, alas says, the Upanishads say, the tragedy, man. What a faculty you have been provided with and how much you abuse it. Yes. So remember all this. Why so much of build-up I am giving is that the verse is not that only this verse we have misunderstood. Okay, we have misunderstood the entire Bhagavad Gita. For those who take refuge in me, verse 32. O Partha, though of sinful birth, women, Vaisyas, even Shudras, they also attain the supreme goal. Supreme goal is the goal of self-realization. That is the meaning of it. So when he says supreme goal, what he is referring to is this. Now here, don't take literally this one, women. Because the scripture itself is presented as Shruti Mata. See, it is personified as women only. The entire Vedas, the chief for the entire Vedas is what? There is one mantra you have to take from the entire Vedas. They say that is Gayatri mantra. What is the deity? Feminine deity only. If we have the number of masculine deities and the number of feminine deities, if you take, right, list if you take, feminine deities are more. More number of deities we have feminine. Masculine deities are not many. And not to talk about live examples of people. In fact, the Gayatri mantra was given by whom? Vishwamitra. Who was he? Kshatriya by birth. Dharmavyada. He's not even a Shudra, he's outcast. He doesn't even come into the category of those four. They say he's a fifth caste. To him, all this is, rishis go to learn. If they have a doubt, what is to be understood, what is to be done, they say you have to go and stand in queue there. That is the Upanishads we have. I don't want to go on giving the list of, you people can Google it. Now it's not necessary for us to go into. How many, women rishis were there in the Vedas? There are 37 women rishis were referred in the Rig Veda itself. So it's not that women were disqualified. Don't take it as women literally. If that is the case, then 50% of the entire humanity is straight away out. So it's a very wrong notion. Why it is a very wrong notion? It's because spiritual evolution, because he is referring, he also attained the supreme goal. So the whole discussion is with reference to what? Attainment of the supreme goal. Supreme goal, what is the meaning of that? Spiritual growth. For a spiritual growth, what is needed? For which you should know what is the meaning of spiritual growth. Evolution or self-realization. If you take it to the absolute one, it is self-realization. The whole effort of spiritual path has got nothing to do with external, it has got nothing to do with your physical. Man and woman is to do with physical body. With reference to thoughts, with reference to the mind and intellect, with reference to the subtle body, there is no masculine, there is no feminine. There is no man-woman, remember. It is a gross body that has man-woman difference. There are 17 parts of the subtle body. What is the difference between man and woman? There is no difference. 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, Pancha Prana, mind, intellect, 17. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 2. 17 parts. These are the parts of the subtle body. Right? Where is masculine, feminine there? Where is man and woman there? It's nothing to do with physical. Remember that. The blunder we make is we narrow it down to physical. Same way this Vaishyas and Shudras also. This is not to be treated in this language, That's why it's really tiring to talk about these things. Because it's of no use actually. How much ever said, people are not going to understand that. Ideally speaking, you should skip and go. You interpret any way you want. You say Krishna is wrong, I'll say, yeah, Krishna is wrong. If someone comes and tells me, what do you think of this verse? I think we should remove this verse. I will say and walk out. If someone were to come and ask me, what's your opinion on this verse, Ishvara? Interview. In an interview, someone were to ask me, I'll say, remove this verse. First of all, why enter a Bhagavad Gita, man? Remove it. No. What is your problem? Who cares? Now, even if it is correct, even if Krishna held that opinion, let's say, Krishna is of a great opinion that women Vaisya Sudras are not. Factually, that is not what he is saying. He is not saying they are not qualified. If you read carefully, he is not saying they cannot. Mahavira is much more bold. He says that directly. Buddha and Mahavira are much more direct. They say, they cannot. Then what happens now? They have to be reborn as man in the next Janma. If they serve properly, if they live this life in a dharmic way, they will get next birth they will be taking rebirth as man, and then they can get nirvana. That is not what he is saying here, Krishna. Krishna says, even if you are of that type, it doesn't make any difference. You can achieve. It's like saying, even if you are a dropout in school, you can become one of the greatest scientists. Thomas Alva Edison, Einstein, they are all dropouts, no? Even if you are, you can. That doesn't mean somehow I should get dropped out of school. We don't have to strive for that. Then, that is how you give when you go to a motivational talk, how they will talk. They will always give examples of people who are coming back from the most disadvantaged position, reach to the peaks. Say, look at that. A man who is just selling petrol bunk, built an empire. Man who was just, selling tea in the railway station is the one who is sitting there as the Prime Minister of a country, and he is being rated as the best one. I think some study they have done. People acceptance index. He ranks number 1, consecutive. I think 3-4 times he has achieved, consecutive one. Internationally. Look at that. From where to move. And it's not that he just, just slide into it. At every step there was a challenge, struggle, opposition, fight. You have to overcome very many things to achieve. But you being in that position is of no consequence. So essentially, what does it mean? The girl who lost her both legs climbed Everest. No legs. The documentary is one of the most interesting one. And how she lost is another, I want to go into those things. Tragedy means, it's a real tragedy. For a person of that, is to lose all that. But this is how you give motivation, right? You want to motivate someone, with what you will motivate? What is how they started? Look at how they started this company. Garage. A small one, start a company there. And then became number 1 in the world. That's motivation. Now, when you give such motivations, always you have to give examples of who? the disadvantaged with reference to that one. Why? For climbing Everest, if I give the example that, this man was a tea stall person, he was selling tea, and he climbed Mount Everest. You say, what is the connection between selling tea and climbing Everest? I have to give the example of a disadvantage with reference to what? Climbing. For climbing, what do you need? You need legs. Now here is a person who had lost the legs. Without legs, with an artificial limbs, the person is able to climb. Sudha Chandran, how many of you know the dancer, Bharatanatyam? Sudha Chandran is an actress. I still remember that movie when it was released. We went with our family. I was just a schoolboy. I saw that movie. While coming back in the bus, I got to know that she actually lost her legs. I went back to that movie again. I thought it's just a movie. I never knew she actually lost her legs. But in the beginning of the movie, for the first 1 hour of the movie, how she has acted then? With legs only, no? She is learning dance, she is performing, all that was happening with that. How can you act like that? Because the person who is not knowing will not register that. Which means how effortless. To get into that state of effortlessness, what we need to understand is so much of effort has gone behind it. That's the meaning of it. So, if I have to talk about climbing Mount Everest, I have to refer what? If I am going to be speaking about economic growth, wealth creation, I have to give a reference of who most disadvantaged cannot be. The person who has lost his legs. You say, that's not the reference there. The reference is the one who had nothing with him. A person who is just, selling petrol bunk. A petrol bunk to go there. It's not an easy task. That is the example we have to give. So always the references has to be given in the context of what you are going to achieve. Now here the context is what? Achievement of the supreme goal. To attain that supreme goal, we have to give examples of the most disadvantaged. So what is a disadvantage? Advantage and disadvantage cannot be with reference to the body. It cannot be with reference to their economic status. It's not with reference to all these things. It is with reference to what then? If you have it, it's good. It is just, but it is not essential. That's not the essential point. The essential aspect here is the person who has the mental framework. So the whole, this examples, the qualifications is referring to, the qualities is referring to, is referring to the qualities that impede the growth, for which he has to give some name. He has to use some words, right? For that quality. So instead of saying women, if he would have used the word feminine quality, you and me today sitting 5,000 years later will not have an issue. He using that word woman is a problem for us. If he has used the word feminine quality, all of us would, none of us would have any issue. Correct, no? Masculine and feminine. Because in language itself we have no masculine gender, feminine gender. There is a difference, no? So now what we have to do? Equality, sir. What we should do? From tomorrow onwards, we should not have any gender. All gender words we should remove. All neutral gender. Every one of us should be referring ourselves as it. No problem, no. Equality is achieved. You see, when you are having a conversation, this also you need to remember the context. Context is what? Krishna is not giving a public address. Remember, many a times he refers, I am speaking to you for you are my friend. It is a intimate conversation between friends. We are unnecessarily poking our nose there. Isn't it? It is like without the other person's knowledge, their intimate things, if you record and try to bring him, I'm going to file a case on you now. In fact, for infringement of into their privacy, you are actually guilty. First of all, we studying Bhagavad Gita itself is wrong. That doesn't mean don't stop the classes. Because I will not have any other job. No. My employment will go. Therefore, what we will do, we will not say that. We will say, no, you are not supposed to study the Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita is not addressed to you and me. It's not a public address. See, it is a private conversation. Public address you can't discuss. Correct. Why? It is because it is public address. Like Mark Antony's oration, we can study. Why? Because it is a public address. It is meant for the public. Mark Antony spoke to the public. Therefore, it is supposed to be there. Now, private conversations, we cannot be expecting a person to be, you see, that too when it comes to friends. Among friends, you cannot expect any sophisticated, proper words and all that. They will simply dismiss. That's called friendship. So, you going in itself is wrong actually. So, here he is not referring. If you want to do Vidantavada, this is how we will do. Vidanta is, just to give an argument for just for argument's sake. If you have to do that, I will say, first of all, who are you to study Bhagavad Gita? Why did you come in there? How can you plant a CCTV camera inside my bedroom? That itself is wrong. That's why we are having all this problem, no, in the parliament. How can you do that? Right? Because in private conversations, we will say 1,001 things. That doesn't mean you can take that and call a person for a public debate. In public, what is referred is a point, full stop. But this is not a valid argument or anything. It is only a Vedanta, we say. Just a counter, that's about it. But that's not the reference. Here the reference is this. So we say if you have to do a genuine analysis, then we sit and analyze and say what is he referring to here? He's referring to that quality. What is that feminine quality? Feminine quality is that non-exploratory nature. Because to explore into something means you are entering into the territory which is totally unknown to you. When you are entering into a space where you have no idea of what it is, without doing anything, without knowing anything, because exploration means that. Exploration means the capacity in you to pursue something without having any guarantee for the result. No guarantee of the result. Like this, if you take that way, 99% of humanity are not exploratory. That 1% of humanity is exploratory, and the 99% enjoy the benefits of their exploration. They explore. And now you can keep adding examples. You see, like this, Edison, bulb. Edison, no? Yeah. Thomas Alva Edison. Now imagine, this is what I used to wonder. Imagine, at that time, darkness, night means what? Total darkness. And darkness always gives what? Injects fear, uncertainty. This one man, and just to overcome that fear, every culture, every generation had developed so many ideas, so many things they had cultivated, just to get rid of that fear. That's it. That is a discussion by itself. You have to, these things are we have to keep it, for some other context. Some other time I will do that. What all each culture had that fear of darkness, and how that has expressed, how it has impacted world culture. Every culture in the world had a tremendous impact on that. This one man's invention has bursted all that myths and this beliefs and that notions and this fears, uncertain, all that is gone completely here. He removed all that. One man's effort. But it took him 20 years of research. 20 years of research it has resulted in this bulb. When he started that exploration, he has identified everything. Only thing he is not able to get is what is going to be holding that. He tried everything. He tried even human hair, which is obviously all of us know. You see, that's what the exploration means. Exploration means the capacity of a person to pursue something without any result orientation. And passivity means what? Passivity means this. Is a person who simply says, no, don't take any chances. Be safe. You should function in this way. Why? Because when the mind, when emotions and this dominates, the mind domination of a person always wanting to avoid dangers. Because exploration is you are pursuing something. It's like a student saying, give me a guarantee that I will pass the exam, then I will write the exam. You see, give me a guarantee that I will get a seat, then I will write the exam. He'll say what? When you are writing the exam, you have no guarantee of getting a seat, no guarantee of passing the exams, you have no guarantee of any of those things, but still you have to write the exams. That's why today humanity has started moving towards on-job learning. We wanted to learn things on job. Why? Not that we are evolving. Remember, we are not getting better. We are losing the capacity to study things. If I am not guaranteed, I cannot do. Exploration means what? Without any guarantee, I am willing to pursue it. There are two attitudes, right? They are totally opposite. Now, when it comes to the spiritual evolution, spiritual growth, you need to explore. For that exploration, what is needed? You must have the courage. If you are exploratory, what will happen? If you say, okay, sir, now I am going to explore, I am going to start. You know instantly what happens? First step. You want to explore something, you will not get any support or you will get minimum support. No one will support you. That is why many researchers are not getting financial support. It's not easy to finance a research. I'm trying to convert water into petrol. I say, I'm going to do the research, it will take about 40-50 years. Then we will get. This is what the Yuga Dharma he says. In Kali Yuga, very interesting one. In Kali Yuga, the effect of your karma will take 30 years, it seems. 30 years. Good or bad, doesn't make any difference. For both, effect will come after 30 years only. Now, what will happen to all of us? If it is instant, there is no problem. You put your finger in fire, instantly it burns. Imagine you put your finger today inside fire, it will burn after 30 years. What will you be doing? And when it burns, after 30 years, it starts burning where there is no fire around you at all at that time. You are sitting in igloo, you are playing with in the snow, and suddenly you start feeling burning sensation. It looks weird, right? Why they say this? That's how it appears here for all of us. We want a guarantee. You will not get any support. And particularly when you come to the spiritual one, you will not get anything. See, you say, I'm going to explore this, I'm going to inquire. I'm going to inquire into who am I. Ramana Maharishi decided that I'm going to, this is before. Only we were calling him Maharishi and all those things. He referred him as Venkatraman only. You ask him, who are you? He will say Venkatraman. He will not say, I am a Maharishi. There is no Maharishi, things are. We call him Maharishi. You guys call me with 101 things. Who cares? Today you go to that ashram. If you go and join Ramana ashram today, you are guaranteed of 3 meals. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. There's no problem you have. You can go. Anybody goes there, they are feeding now. During Ramana's time, he will refer as, you people have, very many days. I have only 2 days. Ekadeshi, Dwadashi. I have experienced only 2 days in my life. Ekadeshi and Dwadashi. For those who don't know, many of you don't know, I think. Ekadeshi means fasting. Dwadashi means breaking the fasting. So, fasting, breaking the fasting. That's all he has all his life. No guarantee. Many a days he has to go without even having a minimum food. Today Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gets a lot of things. This Naivedyam they do. Not when he was there. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's statue is getting far more things than Ramakrishna himself. Why not? That is a law. Nothing can be done. If you are trying to move in, to explore these things, and to explore God, you need maximum courage. Why? Because it is not just a simple unknown. It's not ordinary things. It is unknowable. You can never know. Okay, with all the spiritual evolution, he has attained nirvana, let's say. He has attained this moksha. He has attained that realization. What of it to you and me? At least, if Thomas Alva Edison invents electric bulb, it is of a great value to you and me. Now, Buddha has attained nirvana. What of it to you and me? So, is he going to part with that with you? At best, what he will do? He will keep traveling from village to village to village and keep lecturing about it. You will say, yeah, good talk. It's a sort of entertainment only. Music concert is much better. Isn't it? At least some entertainment is there. Some entertainment value is there. With Buddha's lectures, what is the entertainment value? That is why we have the class only for an hour and 15 minutes, not more than that. Bhajan session you can have for 4 hours. Non-stop. No breaks, no interval in between. Continuous. One song after other song after other song after other song. The palm will be burning. We are coming out. Cycle I'll be finding it difficult to hold the handbar. Because it will be burning. And my brother will be sitting with me. I have to pedal with him also. But 4 hours, tremendous one, highly engaging and entertaining. Therefore we went, not because of any spiritual, this thing, nothing of that sort. It is simply what? Good entertainment. We enjoyed that entertainment. That's about it. There is some value in that. Musician. Now Buddha comes and he is saying, Ramana Maharishi. Now with Ramana Maharishi, what can you do? You go and ask him a question also, he says what? Inquire into yourself. I lost my wife. Whose wife? Who's claiming that's my wife? Find out that first and then come back. Pagal fellow. Say and walk out. There's zero value of those people. Even if they attain also, there is no value. There is no guarantee they will attain. Even if he attains that, what is the value for the society? There is no direct value for the society actually. Therefore, will the society give any support? Anyone around him will give a support. In fact, they will say, what? Opposite. To fight against all that, what is demanded by you, what is needed for you is to stay alone, to have that conviction, to have that courage. You ask a person, would you like to be a Christ or you like to be a Pope? Which one do you prefer? You say, Pope's life is much better. Christ's life a problem. See, his own disciple is waiting there to betray him. Look at the condition. Christ. No, none of us are interested to be a Christ. Why? Exploration. That capacity to probe into it. This is one quality. To refer to that quality of conservatism, of non-exploratory, of this passive, activity, is giving this word Stri. Means women. Next one he gives is this Vaisya and Sudra. Now remember, the varnas which has been developed, the idea, and today don't even refer to it, because it is not possible today. We don't have all that today. You got to imagine that during that period where the whole idea was evolved. I'm not referring to this as as nature, this, that, and all that. That's not what I'm referring to. There are very many angles to it to analyze. Now we have to restrict it to the context. In the context, if we are thinking how the evolution of it, how it has got distorted, where it went wrong, that's not the analysis now. Remember that. If we have to do that, we have to do that separately. Now, in the context, what we are discussing is this. In this, we understand certain mental frameworks are not conducive. First example we saw is agitated person. Sinful. Next one we found is a person who is of passive in nature. Is not conducive for spiritual evolution. Second one. The third one he is giving is this Vaisya. Now, what is the meaning of this Varna and all that? We have to understand is the human beings, they are classified based on their qualities. And there are three basic human qualities are there. Referred as Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Right. I'm assuming you people are all familiar with these three. Okay. What is Sattva, what is Rajas, what is Tamas and all that. Sattva, to put it in a very simple language, Sattva means purity. Then again we have to explain what is the meaning of the word purity. Okay. Now this is the problem of understanding. Because when I wanted to learn English, one fellow told me, if you want to learn English, you should always keep a dictionary with you. You read a book, keep a dictionary with you. I said, okay. Then I started reading, I couldn't understand. Third word itself, I got into trouble. And I flipped the dictionary. Right. In the dictionary, he said some words were there. I didn't understand the meaning of that word. Then if you don't know the meaning of that word, where you should go? Check the dictionary. Then I went to this word. And then I asked that word. And that word was defined with another word. Then again I come. After 10 minutes, I kept both the books aside. I said, I don't want this, exercise. Because by the time I go to the third word, I had forgotten the first one. Originally which word I wanted to search, I forgot that. This is the proper problem. What does sattva mean? Sattva means purity. Now again we will ask the question, sir, what is pure? Again we have to explain all that. That's why I said you are all familiar with those ideas. It's just a word to understand. That's all. Rajas is a state in which mind is passionate. Tamas is a state of indifference. This is the three. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And all human beings have got all three. If all of us have got all three, then why there is a difference? The difference is in terms of permutation combination. What is a permutation combination? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, Rajas, that same Sattva, Rajas, Tamas comes in different proportions. Different things. That different permutation combinations were grouped and brought with certain parameters. That's about it. So in that we have this four varna. The next one is going to refer, the next verse is referring to the Brahmana and Rajarisha is referring to the Kshatriya indirectly. There is no direct reference of Kshatriyas here. Right? He cannot be referring to Kshatriyas directly. Why? Because all those fellows are standing there in the battlefield. So he is referring a chosen Kshatriyas. Right? Specific ones. Now when you go there we will see in the next verse. I'm just giving a basic idea of this. The four varnas were evolved from the permutation combination of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Right. Now the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas permutation combination comes from one. First combination. What is the first combination, sir? Of the three gunas, the best quality is Sattva, mediocre quality is Rajas, the worst quality is Tamas, lowest is Tamas. This is the quality. So, predominant Sattva, little of Rajas, minimum of Tamas. Predominantly pure, little passion, minimum indifference. Category number one. That category is referred as Brahmana. Right. Permutation combination. Permutation combination has to be what? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Then you can have Rajas, Sattva, Tamas. Then you can have Tamas, Rajas, Sattva. Then you can have Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. So the first one is Sattva dominant, Rajas is there, Tamas is minimum combination. Second one is Rajas is dominant, Sattva is there, Tamas is minimum Tamas. Then you have Rajas is dominant, Tamas is there, Sattva minimum. Then have Tamas is dominant, Rajas is there, Sattva minimum. Then you have another two. Remember, permutation combination means it will come to everything. Second to another one we have, the fifth combination is Tamas is dominant, Sattva is there, next one, and Rajas is minimum. Another combination is Sattva dominant, Tamas is there, Rajas is minimum. And what these people have said is, those who have studied the gunas, they said, these two combinations are not possible to exist in human. Why? Because if tamas is dominant, sattva is what? Tamas means what we said, indifference. Sattva is purity. Right? How can you have a person who is 50% tamasic but 30% very alert, sir? 40% very alert. 50% ignorant. 40% intelligent. How is it possible? Same, opposite also not possible. 50% he is objective, pure, all that. And 40% he is indifferent, ignorant. See, how can you have objectivity and if indifference is dominating, objectivity cannot be there. If objectivity is dominating, ignorance cannot be there next. Not possible. Therefore, the last two probabilities were taken out of equation. They said only 4 chances are there. Theoretically, you can get 6. In reality, the last two are not possible. Therefore, there are only 4 varnas. 4 approximations. And for each one, there is a maxima minima. Like we have in our, in the examination systems, marking ones. We have, top 20 or the top 200 gets. Okay, what about the person who has scored 201? Where will you put him? Distinction is 81. What about a fellow who had scored 80? 80.5? First class only. Not distinction. We will not put him in distinction. We will say what? First class. But in reality, can you see the difference? Yes, there is a distinct difference you can make out from a person who had scored 85 to a person who had scored 100. Isn't it? 85% and to 100%, there is a difference. How do you get 100 out of 100? That equation is very different. That's why 100 out of 100 person is of a different caliber and a person who had scored 95 is of a different caliber, we say. Even there is a distinction we bring in. There is a difference, but there are always a borderline. But however, we have to draw a line somewhere. Isn't it? So they had drawn that line, which was practically possible. They were practically able to implement it because of the simple reason they were able to do all that was, in those days people were living in small group. Right? Human population was not like today. The population was very, very small. Since it is so small, they were able to practically transfer that. Today it is not possible. So don't try to do, this, analysis today. This analysis was possible then. But however, the gunas did not change. You see, the implementation side they had made some changes. Correct. There are some, changes are there. But in the principle, as long as humans are there, they will have the 3 gunas. As long as those 3 gunas exist, these permutation combinations will exist. Which permutation combination will exist? Only the 4 permutation combinations can exist. The 5th and 6th one cannot exist because they are practically not possible. They will not go together. Therefore, they removed it. So, in this, what is the way in which that Vaisya quality manifests? What is the disadvantage? And what is the disadvantage for Shudra? So, what did he say with reference to a Vaishya, sir? Vaisya means he is doing a business. Now, business means what? Means the person who devises, plans and programs, strategizes to create wealth. Wealth creation. He will focus only on a tangible result. Right? Spiritual path, by definition, what is it? Non-tangible. The one who is looking for tangible, you ask him to go in for non-tangible. How will he do? See, how many people study pure science? How many people study engineering course? In pure science, how many people study mathematics? Theoretical physics. How many do research on that? Very less. But technology-wise, tremendous research. Why? That's why earlier ideas are very important. That's why I gave a big introduction. Right? Why? Because if it is not going to give the result, and when you are looking for the result, what is the immediate one comes along with that result orientation? Mind will go in search for shortcut. Quickly. Shortcut. How can I get it? Quickly, sir. I want to create wealth. When? Not after. This is what Warren Buffett says. Blunder made by people. Why people are not able to make money in stock market? He says, why they are not able to do it? Because everybody thinks stock market is like, today I walk in, tomorrow I come out as a rich man. He says, no, it will not work like that. You have to wait for the long term. You have to wait for it. You can't wait for all that. You say, what? I want it quickly, man. Oh, I have to work. I have things to do now. Why? Because he is Rajasic, dominated by Rajas. Dominated by Rajas means what? He wants immediate things, quickly. He had to speed up things. Fast. We have to get it, things faster, immediately. Tomorrow I need. As quickly as possible, I need it. That means what? Rajasic in nature. For business, that is a good attitude. We are not saying, the quality itself is wrong. See, that will not work here. It is like asking Chris Gayle to play tennis. What will happen? Imagine Chris Gayle had to give a service. No audience can come safe. See, everyone will come out with bruises only. See, to play football, you use a particular set of muscles. When you play golf, you use another set of muscles. See, you don't use the same set of muscles. See, for golf, this is of no use. For football, that set of muscles of no use. That's all it means. That doesn't mean the set of muscle itself is useless. This is how we take things out of context. It says, Vaishyas will have a disadvantage. What is a disadvantage? Because of that passion, they will be wanting the results to come out quickly. since they want the results quickly, they cannot wait for that period. They will say, give me. Like 2 years back, a person here, he took me to his farm. He said, sir, we have planted. We have planted everything, you come and see. I didn't know this. When I went there only, I got to know. I didn't know, what are you doing here? He said, we have planted, this is teakwood. He said, this is teakwood. I'm seeing first time. I have heard of teak, that's about it. Or no, not teak, that sandalwood. This one. I know this is very rare. This is rosewood. I said, oh, yeah. First time I'm seeing. Sandal paste we use, but who has seen the tree and who knows? I said, oh. How long will it take to grow? That will take 25 years, sir. I said, 25 years, sir. I immediately started calculating. Internally, I didn't tell him that. I said, if it is going to take 25 years, what I can do with that sandalwood? Two chances are there. One, when you want to cremate, you can use that. I will get, if I am alive, walking stick. I can have a walking stick with this one. What? 25 years. It's 25 years. Problem. Can't wait for 25 years. So what do? Somehow we will start trying to accelerate. Like near Pune, near Academy, we had been to one rose garden. They are the biggest exporters of rose in India, from India. They have so we visited there. So I went along with a person to see that place. So I had to guide them to the place. So I went along with them to see. First time I asked him, how long it takes for the rose to flower. Usually it will take about 5 days, but in our place it will happen in 3 days. What is that? What does it mean? Very interesting. It takes 5 days, it will take to flower. But in our place, it will happen in 3 days. That means what? Even before other fellows can bring their produce into the market, my product will go into the market first. So I have the advantage of early. Only when I get early, I will be able to sell it for good price. Because early arrivals, we are going to see now. Early arrivals of mangoes will happen now. They started getting grapes now. In another 1.5 months, we will start seeing mangoes. Why? It has to come. Why it has to be? Because he wants to make things faster and faster. In life, the fundamental rule of life is there is no such thing called fast, nor there is a thing called slow. It is neither fast nor slow. And this passionate person cannot be accepting this fact of life and live. Therefore, when he comes to the spiritual growth, which will happen only a natural one, it has its own pace. He will always try to fasten that. He will try to accelerate that pace. In trying to accelerate that pace, he'll spoil the whole thing. That quality is again a disturbance for. What is a Thomasic person? Tamas is a state of ignorance, a state of indifference. This is a basic quality you have seen. Now, what is his peculiar one? The peculiar aspect with reference to the Thomasic person is, since he is indifferent, that indifference will come in as what? Means he is not going to be conscious, he is not alert, he is not going to register what is wrong. That's called indifference. Difference is, he is not recognizing what is wrong and he is comfortable with it. Because he is indifferent, he becomes comfortable with irregularities, wrongs, and dirt. All the wrong things he becomes comfortable with. That's called irresponsible. Irresponsibility means what? I am comfortable with dirt around me. Dirt inside me. What's wrong? I'm not talking about physical dirt. Okay, don't take it immediately as physical dirt. It includes that also. Right? It includes that. But essentially it is not that. It is the comfort. You have to see those people. So if you are comfortable with what is wrong with you, it's called indifference. Sir, I am a very arrogant person. And you are so proud about it. It's like, as though they feel, they are so normal with that. Now, if you are going to take what is wrong with you and you are comfortable with that, how will you strive to overcome it? Is it ever possible? Will you ever put an effort? It's impossible. That is called a tamas. That's what is referred by Shudra. Shudra means a person who is Thomasic in nature. Right? Don't take it as literally dirt. Immediately people take it as literal dirt. It's not that, please. It's not that, around you there is this one. Because if that is the case, then entire Switzerland should be what? The whole of Singapore is all, Maharishis and Mahatmas only there. It's nothing to do with that, please. It's not the physical cleanliness, physical dirt. We are talking about the psychological dirts, internal, which extends to external also. At times it extended to external also. They won't even resist. Okay, what's wrong with it? Let it be there. You have your own things. It's not there in your plate, no. It's only there, right? You eat now. Now, how can you eat? Imagine a dirt is there, down, around the corner. And you sit here and eat a bit. So the dirt is not on your plate, no. If I tell you it's there, why are you looking at it? You turn the other side and eat. This is the answer will be given. They will not even go and say, we'll remove it. Let it be there. No, what's your problem, man? This is how the thinking will be. With such attitude, how will you strive for working? Possible. So he is giving the list. What is the list? First one, verse 32. List is this. Those who are agitated, disturbed. 1. 2. Those who are passive, non-exploratory. 2. 3. Those who want quick results. 4. Those who are comfortable with dirt. These four qualities are disadvantage for spiritual growth. But don't worry, Arjuna. Even if you have these four, or even if you have any one of that, you have to pray you don't have all four. Okay? Right? That's not what he says, all four. He says, even if you have any one of this, or a combination of that, still you can grow spiritually. Still, this spiritual path is there for you. Still, there is hope for you. You are not left alone. That is the words. So these four words have, go for a toss. Of course, I am not going into the order of this. That's a separate analysis. We don't want to go into that. In the context, what is the meaning of it? Right. See you in the next class.